Habari zenu wa Kenya wenzangu. Kakonga the coach and the pioneer of Vision Total Football Kenya. Habari zenu wa Kenya wenzangu. Leo nataka tuzungumze kuhusu pesa ambazo wachezaji wa Kenya Premier League wanalipwa. So I want us to have a discussion around the wage which Kenyan Premier League players are paid. But before we begin, I want us to reflect and to think, and also I want to start by talking about Raheem Sterling so that we can understand the wage that football players receives elsewhere. Now, Raheem Sterling wage, mshahara wa Raheem Sterling, 1 week only, Raheem Sterling earns £30,000. If you convert that into Kenya shilling, is basically 30 million Kenya shillings, yeah? Ni 30 million. So that is 1 week. So 2 weeks, it's 60 million Kenya shillings. Now, 2 weeks Raheem Sterling wage is enough to pay a Kenyan football player, yeah? A Kenyan football player who is playing in Kenya Premier League can be paid using Raheem Sterling's 2 weeks wage. A Kenyan Premier League player can be paid for 34 years wa Kenya wenzangu, yeah? And in this case, I'm imagining a top Kenyan Premier League player who is being paid 150,000 Kenya shillings per month. So get this right. Raheem Sterling 2 weeks wage, which is 60 million Kenya shilling, is enough to pay a top Kenyan football player for 34 years wa Kenya wenzangu. Ai, hii ni hatari, kweli ni hatari kabisa. Now, if you think about it, that means Raheem Sterling 1 month wage, which is 120 million Kenya shilling, is enough to pay a top Kenyan Premier League player for 68 years wa Kenya wenzangu. That is 70 years less 2 years, yeah? 68 years, yeah? Raheem Sterling 1 month wage can pay a Kenyan top Premier League player for 68 years. This is dangerous to our football, and it has always been dangerous. Now, I want to talk about if Raheem Sterling was to buy all the 18 clubs today in Kenya Premier League. Raheem Sterling, using his wage, 60 weeks wage, which is 1 year and 2 months. Raheem Sterling can buy all the Kenya Premier League clubs for 1.8 billion Kenya shilling. That means each club receiving 100 million. So Raheem Sterling, 60 weeks wage, which is 1 year and 2 months, is equivalent to 1.8 billion Kenya shilling. Now, if he was to buy all the Kenyan Premier League clubs, yeah, paying 100 million for each club, in fact, Raheem Sterling can buy all the 18 clubs in Kenya Premier League clubs for 1.8 billion Kenya shilling, and that is his 60 weeks wage. So Wakenya wenzangu, the question that I want us to ask ourselves, and what is important in this conversation, is this: where did our football go so wrong? Why is our Premier Leagues valueless, Wakenya wenzangu? Because if you think about it, there is no value in our Kenyan Premier League. That is why you look, the players are being paid very little money. The coaches, the same. Clubs have no money when you think about it. Even if you look around the transfer fee, you will see that players being bought for 150,000 Kenyan shilling, average 300,000 Kenyan shilling. Jameni, unless we do something, yeah, unless we do something in our Premier League, unless the Kenya Premier League reinvent itself, unless the Kenya Premier League take action, yeah, and do what is necessary to increase the value of the league will continue to be a joke. The league will continue being a laughing stock when it comes to other countries' football. So for me, I want us to see hope in our Kenyan Premier League. I want us to add value in our Kenyan Premier League. But when a sponsor looks into our Kenyan Premier League, there is nothing really to sponsor. There is no value for a sponsor. There is no value that attract a sponsor to sponsor the Kenyan Premier League. Therefore, I want Premier League as an organization, Kenya Premier League as a company, to find a way to reinvent itself. But in fact, the answer is in Vision Total Football Kenya, because what is happening to Kenya Premier League's clubs right now, they have no money to run the league, and that is a disaster for our Kenyan football. Because if Kenyan Premier League fails, the entire football in Kenya will fail, because Kenya Premier League is one of the most important assets for Kenya. And all of us, whether you like Kenya Premier League or whether you don't like it, all of us collectively must find an answer to save our Kenyan Premier League. But the Kenyan Premier League must also be innovative. Yeah, those people who are in Kenya Premier League management, they must be innovative enough. Why? Most clubs have no home ground, so what they do, they share grounds, and this is terrible. The sponsor cannot see value in that. Now, there is no league, there is no academy system when it comes to our Kenyan Premier League clubs. Again, the sponsor want to see tomorrow, the hope, the future. So when there is no an academy attached to a Kenya Premier League club, again, the sponsor can see no value. Again, we need a system to develop our coaches, so our coaches can improve and become better, so they can go and coach in other countries. But the Kenyan football coaches, yeah, they revolve around within the same clubs, and they never move on, and they never seem to add value to themselves, so they can be paid a lot of money. But this will only happen if we sort the issues in our Kenyan football system, so that the federation can help the Kenyan coaches, yeah, to learn more and to add value into themselves. But my main important point today was about Kenya Premier League, that unless something drastically happen to Kenya Premier League, I know the clubs are struggling and they will go bankrupt very soon. And that's a very sad story for Kenya. So I want us to try and help Kenya Premier League. I want Kenya Premier League to embrace Vision Total Football Kenya, because in that vision, there is all the answers that Kenya Premier League is looking for. Kenya Premier League was started in 1960, I think 1964, sorry for that. For so many years, nothing has changed. So Kenya Premier League must reinvent itself. Kenya Premier League must add value to itself, so that sponsors can come in big numbers. Yeah, sponsors like to be associated with a successful brand. At the moment, Kenya Premier League is not a successful brand, and that is why no sponsor is getting involved. Vision Total Football Kenya will be the answer for the Kenyan football and for the Kenyan Premier League. Wakenya wenzangu, that is the point for today. I leave you in peace. I'm gone. Stay safe.